Good morning, it's Frugal here. As always, I have my coffee, otherwise somebody might just get killed. So today let's talk about gaslighting in a job, in a corporate environment, what it is and how it works. So what you'll find is that sometimes people will go out to basically, manipulate you and make you feel like you start doubting yourself. An example like this would be you're sitting in a meeting and somebody said, but you didn't send me that email. And you're like, but I did. I mean, surely, I would have known if I've received this email. But they do it in such a way that they actually make you feel like you are going mad. Like you're actually not doing what you're supposed to do. Like you don't know how to do the job. Another example might be that you're sitting in a KPI and this person's just like, but, the fact is that you're incompetent, you just can't do the job. And when you're hearing things like that, that's just terrible. It's just, you start thinking, am I really as good as I'm thought I am? I've got 10 years experience and I've got, a lot of corporate clients and I've had very, very high level jobs. And this often happens on a higher level, like a C-level job where people do things like this. So identifying it is one thing, but how do you deal with these type of gaslighters? Well, the big thing is that you need to remember is that oftentimes they will do everything in their power to just negate what you're saying. So for example, if you're saying, listen, I know that I did this and here's the proof of it, they'll probably go it's probably just not important. I've had that where somebody was just like, no, that wasn't me. I never said that. Now, oftentimes it doesn't help to confront them, but sometimes the first place to start is by saying, listen, you said this, but I do have the proof that happened and you did that in front of other people. I don't like you doing that. Now, in most cases, the person would be like, well, sorry, that's not what I meant. But some people will go out of their way to prove, listen, I never said that. I never did that. So in that case, it's worth actually keeping track of everything. And I had this little black book next to my desk where I literally kept track of every query that came in over my desk, people that stood next to my desk, and everything that really happened, so that I could go back and say, on this date, this happened, this is the person that came to me, or this is the simple notes for meeting. A great way to handle that as well is just by the end of the meeting, just send the notes and say, thank you for having the meeting with me. These are the things that we discussed, and these are the things that the action plan of what we're going to do. Once you've got that on paper in an email, it's very difficult then to go back and say, but I never said that, because you sent the email and everybody was CC'd in there. I normally had this line where I said, let's CC in the world. Now that's important. Now, this brings me to the next point, and that is if that doesn't work, you do need to enlist the help of others. That might be colleagues, people that you trust, people that you have a relationship with at work, to say, hey, I'm seeing this behavior from this person. Are you also experiencing it? In a case of my previous employer, we actually had a list that everybody signed to say listen, this person is saying this and this and this in the meeting, but they're doing this and this afterwards, and it doesn't align. And if this doesn't change, then, we're going to have to escalate this to an HR level, which is probably the next level. If it doesn't work where you're actually speaking to colleagues and being able to, just get a consensus about how to handle this, would be to take the company structure processes, which would be things like HR, things like a legal advisor, depending on which company you work for, which industry you're in. And then it would be best then to say, listen to HR, to say, listen, this person is constantly throwing me under the bus. They're constantly making me doubt if I really said that and if I really did that. And if that is the case, well, if they do something about it, that's great. But if they do not, maybe that's a sign for you that you're no longer welcome in that company. It might take some time to plan your exit. I'm not saying that you should, but it might be worth considering if the value that you're adding to the company is not mutually beneficial anymore. Remember, gaslighting is a form of abuse, so you need to take it seriously. Now that you know a little bit more about gaslighting, have a wonderful day. Happy investing.